Lesson 167. Discovering the Tree of Life. It was the tree of knowledge of good and evil that brought the downfall of man, and God expelled them from the Garden of Eden so that they won't reach out and take the fruit from the tree of life and live forever. Ever since that time, God had a plan to use the tree as a symbol to bring life back again to humanity. To Moses, what he was holding was just a staff made from a tree, but to God it was a symbol of leadership and redemption for the Israelites. And God asked Moses, "What are you holding?" He didn't know that he had a symbol of life and salvation to all the Israelites. He approached Pharaoh and threw the staff down, and it turned to a snake. The other magicians did the same according to their sorcery, but it was Moses' staff that engulfed other snakes. This showed how great his position was and God's ability to rule over above any other things in this world. The symbol of Moses' staff engulfing other staffs from the sorcerers, it was the sign God portrayed beforehand that through the same tree evil will be defeated. That this tree of life will be a symbol that will conquer death. The same tree that provided the fruit which led to men's destruction. God will raise another tree that will produce fruit that will bring life. Later, their journey on the desert, when the Israelites disobeyed God, sent venomous snakes to attack them. They asked Moses to pray for them, and God gave him specific instruction to make a bronze snake and put it on the pole, and whoever looks at it will be healed. It was the same staff that God told Moses to raise it up to part the water from the seas, which provided the way for Israelites' salvation. And it was the same tree that Moses used to hit the rock to provide water to quench their thirst. It was a symbol that followed until the time of Jesus Christ, when he was raised on the tree, that whoever believes in him will be saved from their sins. The same Jesus who is the way, the true, and the life. For some reason, people are still looking to take the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They want to become like God himself by creating their own idols. In the past, people create their own idols which they called their God, made by human hands from the tree, yet they are appraised into the position of God himself. Picture God made us in his own likeness, then he desires to worship us instead. Will that have any effect in increasing his glory? Absolutely not. Today we make our own lifestyle and routine that we treasure than anything else that we need. We desire to go into the way of the world, ignoring our true nature, which is following the way of God. When you choose the world and its path, you become more like the world itself. It is impossible to go into that direction and yet achieve the things of God. Remember, God cannot be mixed with sin, and you cannot serve two masters at the same time. You will either love one or hate another. Even though your idol is not something made of wood from the tree, it is rather something created with your own fleshly desires. The more you feed your flesh desire, the more you become like it. But the more you walk by the Spirit, the needs of the flesh will lose their meaning. You have the opportunity to reach out and take this fruit from the tree of life again and live forever. Even though the first man was expelled and not allowed to do that, now the decision is in your hands. No one will force you. A true believer will live a life that is focused and determined to follow the way of the Lord, choosing to say no to sin and yes to God every single day. The Bible provides us with that instruction, and it is the first place you should look on and follow to know the way you should go. The world and everything in it will only lead to destruction and regret in your life. The more you feed on God's word, the more you will understand yourself better and know the plan of God into your life. Your life begins when you give yourself to God. And the more you give to God, the more God will give back to you. Trust in him always because he cares for you.